Wilson has already done a lot of venting this offseason, and now there appears to be even more going on in Seattle. The Athletic says there is a power struggle between Russ and the Seahawks, with Pete Carroll wanting to be more careful in the offense. The report adds Wilson met with coaches earlier this season and pushed for more influence regarding schemes and personnel. The report went on to say in the meeting, he outlined his own ideas for how to fix the offense. His suggestions were dismissed. Another reminder to Wilson that the Seahawks did not see him the same way he saw himself, as a player who had earned greater control over his situation, his future, his legacy. He stormed out of the room. Woo! Acho, drama. How would the Seahawks' power struggle end?
Not good. Because here's the thing. The issue at hand is like two different entities, Sel. They're two different entities. Russell Wilson is obviously a lot more self-centered than he's ever been. Now, people perceive that to be a bad thing. I don't. Professional athletes, you have a limited career span. You have a limited career window. You have to get your money. You have to get yours. I understand that. But the Seattle Seahawks, they're a team-first organization, and they really have always been. They've never really propelled superstars. Even the most superstar being that was propelled was a legion of boom, comprised of 4 to 5 individuals that were typically rotating with just two stalwarts of Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. So even the greatest superstar, if you will, in recent Seattle memory, was a boy band. That's what it was. And so the issue at hand is Russell Wilson, like Justin Timberlake, is trying to leave the boy band and go solo. But the problem is you can't be a solo act in a group. And Marcellus, we have to realize there's currently, they just won't mesh. They are no longer compatible. Now let's dive even deeper. Russ he's now an icon. He's a different dude. He came into the NFL as not a lowly, but kind of a mild third-round pick.
He was a third-rounder.
Third-round pick.
That's what they did.
We're never supposed to be the guy. Matt Flynn was paid $26 million, big money back at that time, to be the starting quarterback. All of a sudden, Russell Wilson wins that job. Then he wins the Super Bowl, year 2, becomes an icon, marries an icon, so becomes an even bigger icon, and he's a different dude now. I'm not mad at it, Sal. You know this. Anytime somebody's in a relationship, they start to change. They start to evolve. But does the other person or the other party change and evolve with you? Or do they not? And at this point, Russell Wilson appears to have evolved beyond the Seahawks. He appears to have he has wants and desires that the Seahawks can no longer fulfill. And for that reason, there's a rub. How does it play out? TBD. But there's clearly a rub that I think is currently irreconcilable.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. We're off to a fast start. How will this end? With Russell Wilson taking the L and tucking his tail and still being the franchise quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of dust is going to get kicked up in the process of getting to that realization. And they're going to go right back to 3 yards in the cloud of dust in terms of the reality, because Russell Wilson doesn't have any legs to stand on in this situation. What you're seeing right here, beyond Russell Wilson changing, evolving, that's a nice way of saying you're going Hollywood. It's okay. As my coach used to always say, hey, bro, don't come to practice on the red carpet. And Russell Wilson, because now he has his camp, he has his entourage, he has those people speaking with him and for him. He's in that place right now. He's focused in on legacy. Here's the problem with focus on legacy. It removes you from the present. It takes you either to the future or it makes you reflect on the past and maybe not reflect perfectly on that same past. I'm going to talk about the past of Russell Wilson right now, because if I'm Pete Carroll, all we're having is a philosophical difference. But you want to kick up dust, you want smoke. I got smoke for you if I'm Pete Carroll. My philosophy is conservative. When I'm talking about investment, I'm conservative in my approach to football. When you're talking about your investment in football, you're more aggressive, Russell Wilson. But the results favor me and my conservative approach. So in the same investment, we can't have these philosophical differences. Think about it. One investment. You can't be conservative and aggressive in that investment. But in your portfolio, you can have multiple ways of looking at how you invest. So this is going to end with Pete Carroll winning. Why? Because Pete Carroll has won his way. The whole let Russ cook movement has been cute. It's been great. It's been great for his individual performances. But in terms of outcome, not the same. I remind people, as Russell Wilson keeps complaining, I'm getting hit too much. I'm the most sacked quarterback in the league. Yeah, you are, because you're not decisive enough with the football. They won a Super Bowl with the second highest pressure percentage in the league. Then the next year, they were in a Super Bowl and would have won if Russ didn't do what he did at the goal line, and lost that Super Bowl with the highest pressure percentage in the league. Russ, using the excuse of the pressure, the sacks, the offensive line, is not going to cut it in Seattle when they've had tremendous success doing it the Pete Carroll way, also with that same offensive line.
Now, let's clarify this, because I don't want Russell Wilson, who we all know is a great guy.
Oh, yeah,
all those things.
Amazing.
They both want to win, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks.
True.
The difference is Russell Wilson wants to be the conduit for the Seahawks' success, whereas Pete Carroll does not care who the conduit for their success is. They both want to win. So I'm not going to paint my guy, Russell Wilson, on my left. I'm not going to paint him out to be the bad dude. I'm not going to paint Pete Carroll out to be the bad dude, because they both want to win. The difference is how they achieve or how they attain the winning. When you're looking at Russ, he's gotten to a point, Sel, where he's grown beyond just wanting to win as a game manager.
Oh.
He's gone beyond that. He's like, no, I don't just want the Seahawks to win. I want them to win through me. And that's where the problem lies. That's where I don't know if you can fix the power struggle, because
let's go.
Pete Carroll, he knows the best way to win. Right? He's done it in college. He's done it in the NFL. He's like, I'm going to run the ball and I'm going to play defense. And I don't know, Sal, if you can change your rules for one dude. You're father of four. If all of a sudden your oldest just had a birthday, right?
Yesterday.
But when she's at your house, I assume she's under your house. It's your rules.
She's an adult now, but it's in the 90 percentile still. Yeah. You get a little wiggle, but
so look, if all of a sudden somebody under Marcellus Wiley's house is like, I'm older, I'm grown now, I don't want to have a curfew. Hold on now.
Where you live? You don't live with me.
just because you got a little bit older, just because you grown now, doesn't mean you know what's best for this household. And I think Russell Wilson has gotten to a point where, like, he got a little bit older. Going on year 10, he's a little more grown now. He's in his adult years in the NFL, and he's trying to tell the head coach, he's trying to tell mom and pops how to run their household. But Pete Carroll is like, no. Running this household, I have won a Super Bowl. Don't get it twisted, Russell Wilson. I won a Super Bowl running it the way I run it. Really, when we ran it how you wanted to in 2017, when you had a career high at the time in passing touchdowns, we didn't make the playoffs. So how about that? Let's do things my way as the head coach and see how it plans out.
Ooh, now, we're going to go here. Okay, Russell Wilson, this is really the timeline of the evolution of Russell Wilson. You remember that the philosophy, as you said, about Pete Carroll and the Seahawks organization is team first. And they always compete, one of the mantras. Another one is no sacred cows. Now, they violated their own principle in taking care of Russell Wilson. Remember, you go into a situation where they already have a money quarterback. Russell Wilson's drafted as the third rounder, beats him out in that same practice, training camp, offseason, and all of a sudden becomes the man as a rookie. Okay, but you're a game manager. We got a defense. We got a running game. You're a game manager. All right, and we're going to coddle you. Why? Not because we are favoritism towards you. It's more so we need you to mature. We need you to evolve into more than just a game manager. So when the Legion of Boom is in the house, and you know how they can be, let's just say that they can look at someone and call it like it is, call a spade a spade. Russell Wilson needed a layer of protection while he was evolving. Okay, they gave him that. All of a sudden, he evolved to a place where he said, now take the training wheels off. And like you said, 2017, they took the training wheels off. Oh, let's put them back on. Not so good. They took the training wheels off for the first few games this year. Then they had to put them back on. They only put them back on because Russell Wilson made them put them back on. He crashed. He burned in comparison to what he was doing when let Russ cook was the philosophy. So you go from game manager to being coddled, and we had team issues. Remember, the Legion of Boom was upset at Pete Carroll because you're always taking care of Russell Wilson when he ain't the reason we're winning. Then that blows up, and then let Russ cook comes to the point where we're here now. But if you're Pete Carroll, you're like, dog, we won a Super Bowl my way.
Bingo.
We were in a Super Bowl my way.
Bingo.
But I'm looking right now at your playoff record. The last one you just lost, 11-27. Come on, Russell Wilson, 40% completion percentage. You've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 of your last 5 playoff games, Russell Wilson. Cook what? Everything stinks. Call the fire department. Fire alarms going off. It's not working. So Pete Carroll will win this tug of war because Pete Carroll has won in this tug of war.
Here's the other thing we have to understand. Russell Wilson, big dog, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I respect you as a man. I respect you as a person. I respect you as a father. I respect you as a husband. I respect you as all that. Can't have your cake and eat it too. When y'all were winning and you had an offensive line that you weren't complaining about, you were only commanding 1% of the team's salary cap.
Say it.
All of a sudden, you start commanding 15% of the team's salary cap. Now, look, Russell Wilson, no one has to be a mathematician to understand you just gained an extra 14% of the whole piece of the pie. So you can't be eating more, but then be mad when other dudes ain't eating. You just can't do it. So if you and I go to a restaurant and I order a medium-sized pizza, now I know a medium-sized pizza. I know.
I'm smoking that. I'm looking at yours, too.
Straight up and down.
Yeah.
Like,
all 8 slices gone.
If I order a medium-sized pizza, no, for the both of us.
Oh, hell no.
Exactly.
No.
And all of a sudden, I start taking a lot of slices. I can't be like, hey, waiter, hey, why ain't my man's got no more food?